Hello, my name is Daniel McKinley, and this is an overview for my game, Town Crier. This is a middleweight Euro game, and I'm going to show you the main components and the main phases of the game and how it works. Throughout this game, you will be vying for the town of the medieval location that we have chosen here. This is Rothenburg. You'll be spreading your influence using the guilds and recruiting people to help you out on this while competing in tournaments as well. The game plays over 3 rounds, and each of the 3 rounds, there are a number of phases. This is normally spread out more, but I have it condensed here just to show a little bit more easily for the overview. Every round we start with the turn phase. This we meet in the town square, in the courtyard, and these dice represent the artisans of the town. They have a color for their skill, and the number, which is their secondary skill. The game does not rely on random, and you'll see how that works here in a bit. We also have the brute token, which starts on space 16. On a player's turn, you choose turn order. A player can move this bell to either the north, south, east, or west side of the courtyard board, and all of the dice will shift in that direction. Now, something to keep in mind on how you want the dice to shift is you're trying to group either the same numbers or the same colors together. For example, if I move the bell down here to the bottom, all of these dice are going to shift accordingly. And let's go with that move, because that groups not only the black dice, but it groups the green and the yellow. And it also groups my 4. Then we reach into the bag and refill the spots in order from the lowest number, as I'm doing so here. And we have 1 more and 1 more. So now I have a choice. I can take up to 3 dice that are adjacent, that share either the same color or number. I could take these 2 dice because they are green, and I could take these 2 dice because they're black, or I could take these 3 dice because they are 4s. Let's start with that. Blue player, go ahead and take those 3 4s. Now it's the red player's turn. They might want to shift their dice in a way where group these green together. So they're going to leave the bell here. That'll shift these dice down. And again, refilling the board. We normally roll these dice and bring them out one at a time, but for the sake of clarity, I'm just going to speed up a little bit. So again, let's say that the red player wants to work on buildings, which are generally green. But that leaves an open spot, and very easily, so the blue player can group those 4s together, or these red. Let's go ahead and do that. Shift them all over here because we moved the bell on this side. Refill the board like this. And again, we can get the 3 red here, or the black, or any other color combination or number combination. Let's say they want to change it up a little bit. Let's get these 2 dice. And this would continue until all of the dice have been removed from the board, and players have a number of dice in front of them. The number of dice vary depending on the player count, but for this sake, I just wanted to show you this example. Now, what do these dice do? There are 6 guilds in the game. There's the market, buildings, apprentices, characters, weapons, and the underground. Each of the color of dice correspond with these factions. So, for example, at the end of this round, players will be taking turns spending their dice to buy these cards. At the end of the round, you will have to discard all unused dice, which is pretty uncommon, but up here in the market, you could spend 1, 2, 2, or 3 blue dice in order to take all of the tokens that are on that location. So if one player spent 2 dice, discarded them, let's go ahead and take all 3 of these tokens. Let's say that was the blue player's turn. Let's go to the red player's turn. They're going to spend a certain number of green dice, depending on which ones they want, and combinations of theirs. So let's use a 2 and a green die. As you can see, the cost is up here. They will buy this card. From now on, they have this added ability. They can change any 2 to any number. I'll show you why the numbers matter here in a little bit. So now we have that, and when buying a building, that lets you put a building on to one of the regions of the board. Let's say the red player puts it right here. That will spread their influence. I'll talk about that at the end of the game. Whenever these cards are bought, they are replaced. And now it's the next player's turn. Let's use the white dice. These are apprentices. I'm going to use 2 white dice right here to buy this one. And when I get this card, I'll be able to use it once per round and place 2 meeples on my board. Let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to show that I'm exhausting it. We're going to use the middle one for this example. And again, this player wants to secure the red region, so I place them right here. All right, on to the next one. Why do we need characters and weapons? Well, there will be a tournament at the end of the round as well. So I'm going to buy some characters. Let's say I will spend 1 die here and another die of my choice to get this character. And this character has 3 different attributes. He's pretty not strong at all. It's only a 1, but he is very fast and he has some pretty decent accuracy. So I'm going to take this character. And the next player might want to get some weapons. So these weapons will be modifiers to the characters. So I'll spend 3 red to buy this one, the Warhammer, and this player will take this. And finally, we have black dice. All of these cards cost a single black die, and they have all sorts of different abilities that could be used either during various phases in the game or even more. Since I'm already going for tournaments, let's go ahead and play this one right here. After all players have revealed their characters, you can add 1 to any attribute. Pretty good. So let's take this. And players continue that for the second phase in the round, buying up these cards and building up area control on the map, or characters in the region, or abilities to use throughout. Now, I did have some tokens that I can use as well as any of the dice, so if I wanted to spend this yellow token, I could buy anything that uses a yellow die. And anytime you see question marks on these cards, that could be any die of any color or number. It does not matter. And finally, let's go over to these attribute tokens. I can spend either a 1 or 2 to get a strength token, a 2 or 3 or 4 to get a speed token, or a 5 or 6 to get an accuracy token. These would add bonuses to our abilities later on. Now, when all players have spent all their dice and any tokens that they want to, they can keep tokens between rounds. We're going to go through a series of tournaments. First, we go through the A tournament. This is normally worth fewer points. This is judging on accuracy. All players choose a character that they want to play, like so, and any weapons that they want to go with it. This player has a better accuracy, so they would get the top mark. They would get 5 points. And this player, since they have the second most, would get 3 points. However, either of them can forego their points to take the ability that's on the card. The second tournament phase, right here, Bs always have a combination of the two. So in this example, let's say we combine strength and speed. This character, even though he was good for accuracy, he's not good for strength and speed. This character would be amazing. And of course, if any of them combined weapons with them, each character can hold 1 weapon. That might make the difference in the round. So this would have a total of 7 between speed and accuracy, or speed and strength. This would have a total of 5. So they would get first. Again, points are awarded from highest to lowest, or they may take the building. And finally, Tournament C, they have different combinations of things. Like this one, the whole tournament, it is all their stats added together. There are other ones where you choose the highest number, or there's ones that has a mini tournament for each of the 3 stats and are awarded smaller points. Finally, after the tournament phase is done, each character that won the tournament, in this previous example, this one won for accuracy, they would have been retired and removed from the game, where any tournaments that get characters who get second and third place would actually stay with their player. So pre-planning and making sure you get the right characters and play them at the right time and not use them up is very important to this. Finally, we have the area control. We're going to look in here to see who has the most influence throughout this round. So round 1, 2, and 3, the red region always scores. The meeples are worth 1 influence, or 1 area control, and the buildings are worth 2. And these are placed on the board again from getting apprentices or building cards. And when we calculate this, let's say this was here, this character in red has a total of 2, 3, 4, 5 for their meeples, and red player only has 2. So since they get first place, they would get 4 points for this, and red would get second place for 2 points. If there was a third, they would get 1 point, and if there was a fourth player, they would not receive anything. Starting on rounds 2 and 3 of the game, we'll also score green, and on the last round, we'll also score red, which is just 8 points to whoever has the majority. So obviously red was playing long run, where blue is playing for short points right now. Then you rinse and repeat, and you go to the next 2 rounds. After 3 rounds, the player with the most points overall is the winner of Town Crier. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.